Okay, I'm going to do my best to explain measuring beyond an inch. So we're measuring, not an inch, measuring beyond the ruler. So here is my ruler. You guys see that? And when I sent you on that activity, we were measuring inches and centimeters. So I'm going to grab the inch side. And when I measure something, I have to line it up with that last black line. So if I was measuring this paper, I would line up my 0 there. And then I would look towards the end of the ruler, make sure it's straight, that's how you get it the most accurate, and see at which line the ruler stops, which is 11. Do you guys see that? So this piece of paper is 11 inches long. But what about when something goes beyond a ruler? Well, I had some kids before we left school saying that you could just put 2 rulers back to back, like one ruler here and one ruler right there. But that doesn't work because if you see, there's a little gap at the end of the ruler and there's a little gap at the beginning of the ruler. So your measurements, if you line them up ruler to ruler, actually won't work. So what you have to do actually when measuring beyond an inch is use the lines, or beyond a ruler. I don't know why I keep saying beyond an inch. So if you see here, I'm lining up that 0 line right with the end of this notebook, and I'm going to measure it. Now, watch to see where the ruler ends. I'm going to push it flat, and it ends, sorry it's chipped, I think it chipped in the car on my way home. It ends right there, but I still have part of the notebook left. So now I have to measure beyond a ruler. So I'm going to make a little line right there with my fingernail so I know where I left off. And I'm going to line up, whoops, the end of my ruler with that line. So there's the end of my ruler lined up with that line. I don't know if you can see it very well in the video, but I can see it. And it stops right before the 4-inch mark. So this measurement would actually be 12 inches plus, now this is between 3 and 4, but it's above this halfway mark. Do you see that? Oops, sorry, it's above this halfway mark. Hold on, right there. Wait, what am I doing? Sorry. Right here. It's above this halfway mark. Do you guys see that? Do you see how the end of the notebook comes right here? So if we remember fractions, this inch is divided up into 4 equal parts. It's divided up, one line, 2 lines, 3 lines, 4 lines. So when we use these 2 parts, that's 1/2. So that would be 3.5 inches. When we use this would be 1 more quarter. Do you guys remember that? So we have 1, 2, 3 quarters. So we would have 3/4 of the ruler right here. And then this is 1 more whole. So it's actually at the halfway mark between 3/4 and 1 whole. Since we're not really learning measurements except for measurements to the nearest inch and 1/2 inch, I'm going to go ahead and say this is an additional 4 inches. We're just going to round up, which means I go to the nearest inch. Is it closer to 3 or is it closer to 4? I'm going to say it's closer to 4 because we're only that far away. So I'm going to come down here, and now is where I have to add my measurements. 12 plus 4. So I always start with the ones. 2 plus 4 is 6. 1 plus 0 is 1. Now what happens if you measure something that is more than 2 rulers long. Well, you do the same thing again. You line up the 0 with the very end of the object, and you stop where the line hits the 12. And then you put your finger where you left off and measure again. Let me go ahead and show you how that's done. Okay, so if you look here, I have some napkins spread out on my table, and I'm going to go ahead and line up my ruler with the bottom of this napkin. So make sure you're on the 1-inch side. Okay, and I'm going to line it up with the very edge. Do you see how that line right there is lined up with the very edge of the napkin? Okay, now I'm going to go all the way up. Oh, and it stops right here at the 12. But as you can see, we're not really to the end of the napkins yet. They keep going. So I'm going to make a mark right here so I know where to put my 0 line on my ruler the next time I measure. Okay, so I put that there, and I'm going to put my ruler down again, but remember to line up, my ruler exactly with that line. So I'm going to measure. Hold on. So if you can see here, this is the part I've already measured. And then this is the part where I line up my 0 with where I left off. You can use your finger if you can't write on the item that you're measuring. And then I'm going to go to where the 12 stops again, and I'm going to do it one more time. So I have the 12-inch line here, and I'm going to make a mark, just a little simple mark, right where that ends, and I'm going to measure again. So I'm going to line up the 0 right with the end of that line, and if I can get it to there, I'm going to line it right up within the line. And if you can see, the nearest inch it's to is 3. So on this problem, I'm actually going to have 3 numbers to add. I'm going to have 12 plus 12, which some of you probably have already done in your head, plus 3. So let's do a quick adding review while we're adding these measurements. I have 2 1s here, 2 1s here, and 3 here. Do I have enough to make a group of 10? Nope, I only have 7, so I actually have nothing to regroup here. Okay, I have 2 plus 2 plus 3, which is 7. There's nothing to regroup. I don't need to bundle. Then I have 1 plus 1 is 2. Right? So my measurement of those napkins was 27 inches. That's a little more than 2 feet. Here we have a foot, because a foot is 12 inches. So 1 foot. Here we have a foot, because a foot is 12 inches. 2 feet. So we could say it's 2 feet and 3 inches, or 27 inches altogether. The last thing I'm going to show you is just a quick regrouping review. So if I had an item that was 12 inches, and then it didn't stop at the end of the ruler, we had to measure again and got 9 inches. So I have to add 12 plus 9. Hopefully all of you guys remember this, but I want to show everybody at home too. This is how we've been doing regrouping. So I have 2 in my ones place, and I'm also going to draw my bottom number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Or 8, 9. Okay, how many do I need to make my 9 a 10? Good, I only need 1. So I'm going to go ahead and circle it like this. That's my group. That's my bundle. And how many do I have left over? Good, I have 1 left over. So I'm going to put that right here. And then I'm going to move this bundle over to the tens place. How many bundles am I moving over? 1. So again, 1 plus 1, that's easy peasy, is 2. So if I had something that the first measurement was 12 inches and the next measurement was 9 inches, it would mean that my object that I measured was 21 inches. And I saw a lot of you guys doing this on your work already, labeling that measurement with the unit of measure. So I hope this activity makes sense. I'm also going to post a recording sheet where you can measure 6 items in your house that are longer than a ruler. And what I want you to do before you measure is to look at that object and see if you think it's going to be longer than a ruler. So I'm going to have a yes/no box. It's going to look like this. Longer than a ruler. Here's your item. And then measurement. So you're going to put yes or no of what you think. Remember, this is going to be an estimate. So the first item, say like I picked a chair, and then say like I picked a notebook. Okay? Then I'm going to say, yes, I think the chair is definitely longer than a ruler. Or my notebook, no. And then I get the actual measurement, and I can see whether my prediction or my estimate was correct. That's all you have to do. Pretty easy assignment. Let me know if you have any troubles viewing this video or getting into the assignment and submitting it. But thank you guys so much. See you soon.